DR fam, happy new year to everybody. Hope everybody had a great, phenomenal holiday break. Hope you took some time off to hang out with the family. Uh, we haven't had a recap. We didn't do anything last week. From a recap standpoint, I decided to just kind of take a break. Uh, did a little bit of trading. It wasn't a whole lot going on last week, as you guys probably know. Um, Friday was a lot of fun, but other than that, it was kind of just a consolidation week. So took it as a time to take a little break and just decompress and kind of get your mind back right. Started looking at my plans for 2020. Well, I started looking at, but it's really just kind of solidified my plans for 2024, and identifying the rules that I'm determined to follow this year. Um, I'm pretty good at following the rules and having a plan and sticking to it. But every once in a while, you kind of get that urge to become a deegan or a degenerate, as we say, and just do some stuff that you shouldn't be doing, or you're taking a chance. And so, yeah. So anyway, we'll see how long that lasts. It kind of didn't last till today, but that's a different story. Anyway, guys, so let's get into it real quick. Today was actually we dropped a lot over the last day, starting from last night. But before we jump into today, let's just let's go big picture for a while. We do this on a monthly basis and then a weekly basis, but let's look at what happened in the last year or last few years, and I'll give credit to my buddy Tim, who was doing his recap and. Started talking about this, and really it makes a lot of sense, especially coming into a new year. It makes sense to see what the year does, right? So you think like, well, I'm not trading for the whole year, but let's just take a quick look at what the market does and how we use some of the same indicators we use on the 5 minute, 1 hour, daily time frame. We can use those on the yearly as well, and see how it works. And all what I'm going to talk about is the fair value gap. 'Cause it's the only one I actually use besides sell side and buy side liquidity. But I just want you to see it. And we look at ES, and this was I got ES one up because our current contracts are only for like December to March. But so this is ES one, which is like the history of ES, and I'll listen, on the left side, of course, ES. If you look at the market overall, I mean, starting in 2009, all right, up until, let's see, 2018, we had a down year, which yeah, it was a down year. It ended down, but still wasn't that bad. You look at 2020, we had that huge drop, but look where it dropped into, right? That green fair value gap. Yeah, so fair value gaps work on all these time frames. All right, it dropped down there and then shot off of it. Same thing happened again. If you look what happened in 2022, right? So not last year, but the previous year, 2022, we actually had come down. We went up. We came all the way down into. Let me draw this a little bit. All right, so we had gone up here to almost at 5,000, right? And then in 2022, we had this huge drop, got back down to a fair value gap, and then we started moving back up again. All right, so that's it's legitimate, okay. And then you look at what happened last year. We literally had a year where we actually picked up off of where we stopped at 2022, and had overall just had a year of gains. All right, so definitely a something to take a look at. Same thing on NQ. If we swap over, let me go for that. Swap over to NQ, right? Same thing, right? Look at how many years we just had that uptrend, okay? All right. So, I mean, big picture, guys, if you look at this, right, and especially here, like we came down, we had, it's fair value gap again, that picked us up for us to move back up to the upside. So, just big picture, it's always good, like I said, at least once a year to look at that just to make sure we kind of know what's going on with the market. Now today, let me do some switching here real quick. Let me switch back to, let's see, I need NQ on that side, and I'm gonna switch that from 12 months. I'm gonna switch it back down. Let's go down, go way down to our little 5 minute, 5 minute chart, right? So that's a pretty big drop there. Same thing here. Let me get the ESH, and we'll drop that down to the 5 minute as well. Okay. All right. So let's get back to today. And again, this is what we trade most of the time, right? We're mostly trading on the daytime time frame. I don't hold any future stuff overnight or anything like that. I mean, I'll start trading at 6 p.m. when the market reopens, but I'm not holding at at the 4 or 5 o'clock because I don't want to have that much margin on kind of being used, and then B, it's just not worth it. All right, I can just kind of restart the trade. But I was showing that that higher time frame, because if you're looking at things like grabbing some shares and holding them, you can kind of see that's what the market's doing. Your shares are going to do the same thing. Same thing for if you're into options, you're doing leap options, which is a year plus. Then you can kind of get an idea of where you think you should be going. So all right. So anyway, all right. So let's talk about today, and we'll do it real quick. I need to have like a little clock up here so I can start timing how long these takes. I shouldn't take more than 10 minutes, but I always talk too long. So that's my New Year's resolution, because I don't make resolutions, but that's my New Year's resolution, is try to make these a little bit shorter, so a little more digestible for you guys, but still giving the same value, if not more. All right, so let's talk about it, and let's go with, we'll keep them both on screen because today was interesting because of what happened. So the first thing we look at is, let's look at NQ, which is what I'm trading 90% of the time now. And I will say this, and if you are new, or if you're still learning futures and still being a little cautious, I would stick to the ES and the MES. Okay, I say that because, again, and I think I've said it before, but I'll start the new year saying that those are much calmer moves overall. All right. ES, you can kind of say, okay, I'm gonna pick my 5 points up, or I'm gonna lose my 5 points, and the market's not moving. The ES market is not moving that fast where it'll jump up to your stop loss and then jump back down. I mean, it'll do that, but and nowhere close to what the NQ will do. Okay, so I got stopped out on a trade on NQ today, and then it turned right back around. And I thought I had a pretty good stop loss set, but it wasn't enough. So that one's getting a little interesting. But anyway, so what happened today, which I thought was very interesting, was if you look at NQ on the right side, right, we confirmed low. Okay, we retraced, and then we dropped down. Right, I took that trade. Okay, right off of, actually I took that trade off of the DR. Okay, so. And then Q land, that really was about a 20. Let's see, I think it was 20 something points on that one, right? So for NQ, that's not bad. Okay, I think I actually took a picture of it too. But anyway, so then we actually just retraced all the way back up. Okay, so what am I looking for now? All right, I can do one of two things. All right, I'm looking for it to either get above this 0.5 fib. Okay. All right, and I can put an order here, which that didn't happen. Okay, or I can look at it for it to come back down to the RDR low, which did happen. And so one of the things that was interesting was, right, when we had this movement going up, I had actually I was at the office today, but I actually put an order on and said, okay, comes back down here. I doubt it's going to get there, but pick me up for me to go down, right? Because I confirmed low, so that's my trade direction is always going to be low in that case, all right? One of my rules I'm trying to stick to this year. Stick with the confirmation. Okay, but lo and behold, I don't know what time that was. Let me move this out. Oh, I can't move that. I can't do it. Let me try to move this out the way. All right, okay. So, yeah, so right around 1 o'clock, I wasn't even looking at this chart at this moment. All of a sudden my alert goes off and it says, you've been picked up. And I'm like, what are we talking about? And so I looked and I said, oh, okay, well, let me just grab a little bit of profit here and get out. Okay, so then market starts to move back up again. Now, what I noticed here was this bearish fair value gap, which another one right above it. Okay, And so if you remember, like I said, I love fair value gaps, right? That's my, if I'm looking at DR, that's my, what I use for confluence is where the fair value gaps. So I see this fair value gap, I see price going up into it, come back down, does it a couple times. And so what I do is I put my order on back on DR low, or IDR low, and then we get this really nice move back down. And yeah, that one. Now, one thing I did do today, I actually had multiple contracts on that trade, and so that trade got very profitable very quickly, and so I was very happy about that. And so we took that trade, and we were kind of done. That one, and I think, let me see, did it do it again? No, that was the last one. Right, so I didn't hold it for all this stuff because it's after, like, getting around 2, 3 o'clock, and I'm like, it's okay. The other thing we noticed today is we took out, right? So I had just done Sunday night, or yeah, Sunday night. I still did my normal thing, and I went and looked at all of my, here's my weekly sell side. I had these are all, so price was way up here, right? So this means prices come all the way down, and so we took out sell side weekly, took out another daily, we took out another weekly, and then we took a daily. We touched a daily, so we took out 4 liquidity levels today. Actually, more than that if you count what happened overnight. But that's a lot. Normally we don't do that much. So these will be going away because they've been touched. I might keep this daily one on here because it's just kind of just pierce it. I'll see if it's going to get back down to it again. So interesting day on NQ. Now remember, on NQ we confirm low. Okay. If we go over here, I'm going to have to get rid of that because let me move this over here a little bit. All right. So, right, low confirmation. We look at ES. I mean, and ES came down, but it didn't actually confirm, right? Didn't confirm down here. Went all the way back up to the top side and confirmed high. So we had a low confirmation, high confirmation, all right? Which again is very interesting to me. Didn't think that would happen, right? Normally they, and again, it's just the levels and how the setup was. So. Of course, the NQ has a much wider range than the ES does, which is fine, but confirmed here. And the nice part, or the easy part, if you're trading ES today, we confirmed, boom, right? Confirmed here, went right back down below. All right, so you can put your order on DR high, and then you can have a trade here, which I think is at least 5 points there. We come back down, do the same thing here, and that's way more than 5 points. So that was another trade you could have taken. Again, we did not come down and get into the 0.5 fib, but we tried to get down there. Now you could have, if you're still doing this trade, you could have done this trade here, which would have gotten you a few points. I don't know how many points that is, but again, we started doing a little consolidation here. So it started playing with that. It started playing with the DR, and so it might have been a little tough. Depending on what your range was on here, you might have got stopped out. Now, what I thought would happen, and I didn't trade ES today, that's why I'm just kind of, pontificating what I think would have happened or what I think should have happened. So here we had this really nice bearish fair value gap, right? So my thought would have been that price would have came up into it. And then, so that would have been the reason why I would have gotten into these trades for price to go back up. But again, it didn't happen, and then we saw prices kind of take this nosedive. We got down to 0.5 fib. So if you're really, really trying to make a trade, there's a 0.5 fib. They had a couple points here, but again, you probably would have got stopped out if you were doing a set and forget trade. So, ES was in the morning was fine. Afternoon, it could have taken your lunch money. Hopefully you ate lunch before the afternoon. All right. So anyway, so that was. But that was today. Today was, a lot of people thought the market would be bullish today. Start of the new year. We kind of ended the year bullish, which we actually didn't because Friday, the last trading day of the year, was bearish. I mean, it was really bearish. It did do a little bit of a turnaround, but as far as like the morning session, it was pretty darn bearish. Right. So a lot of people thought that we would go up today. Market decided that wasn't what it was going to do, so we had a huge drop. And what I mean by that is, if I look at NQ again, and if you look at where we started, let's go to a daily real quick, and then we'll cut it out and shut it off. But if you look at the daily, right? So this was last Friday. This was this is today, okay? And if you look at what happens, right? So we kind of got up here to that's like 17,165, right? That's where we started. Then we started to lose that, right? And so like Friday, we got all the way down to about 16,938, but we closed at right around 17,000, okay? This morning or today, we kind of did that same thing. We started, but then we came and dropped it all the way down to 16,600. So that's like 400 points that we lost today. All right. So yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. I mean, we've done that before and then rebounded, but you know, we have this 3 candle pattern now that for the last 3 days, so last 3 trading sessions, has been pretty bearish. So interested to see what tomorrow brings. Now we are in the middle of a bunch of fair value gaps on the bullish side right now. Well, not in the middle of, but we're encroaching on those fair value gaps. We have a couple of daily. We have 3 dailies here, and then this big green one, a darker green is a weekly. Okay, so we're in the weekly. We touched a little bit of the first daily, and now this is tonight's session, which I don't know. Again, I don't really look at that until the next day. But you know, interestingly enough, like I said, we're just about at the top of that daily fair value gap, and we move back up. So we're still in the weekly. Expectation would be what? 3, 2, 1. Expectation would be that we would actually keep moving outside of that fair value gap. Okay, so that would be option 1. Option 2 would be we'd come back into it a little deeper and then move back out of it. Right, so that would be option 2. So that's why we just play the price and see what the price does, and we go from there. All right. Anyway, I've talked long enough. Again, I think I missed you guys because I've been running my mouth, but hopefully this was helpful. I really want you to, let's start out this year, kind of on a solid footing. Let's leave all the bad choices and the bad. And I'm talking about trading. I can't talk about your own life. You can do what you want in your own life. That's on you. But from a trading standpoint, let's leave all the the bad habits behind and start the year fresh. All right, guys. New year, but we still got the same thing we're going to say. Love on your loved ones, because you never know when you won't be able to do it again. So take advantage of each and every opportunity. I hope you're able to do that, over the holiday break. If not, do it now. All right. Appreciate you guys, and have a good one, and let's see what tomorrow brings.